Riders, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be test riding the all-new 2022 Livewire One. Quick disclaimer, this was about a 12-minute ride. Therefore, most of the information that I'm going to provide you with is going to be technical data that you can find on the Livewire One website with very limited riding information that I was able to gather in my extremely short ride. I spoke to the guys at Livewire. The reasoning for the short rides is it's an electric vehicle. Therefore, if you do longer rides as you typically would on an internal combustion engine, you will definitely minimize how far the motorcycle can go, meaning they won't be able to provide as many rides to riders as they come in throughout the day. So that was the reasoning for the short ride, which makes sense, but that right there shows you one of the shortfalls of electric vehicles. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. The Livewire One is going to be a 100% electric motorcycle. For 2022, it came in 3 different colors. It's going to be black like the one we're riding right now. You have the option of choosing white or red. The only options that you were able to choose or you're able to select from on the Livewire One lineup is going to be either to go carbon or billet. It's not going to affect the ride. It's not going to do any type of performance. This is going to be 100% purely aesthetics. The Livewire One comes equipped with a 15.4 kilowatt hour battery, and that is able to give you a total of 146 miles of city riding. And if you were doing a combination of city and freeway, you're able to get 95 miles. The Livewire One has 100 horsepower and 84 foot-pound of torque, and if you're riding in sport mode, you're able to go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. As far as charging goes, you have the ability to do level 1 charging, which that means that you're going to be able to charge your motorcycle at home. You're going to be able to get about 13 miles per hour. So if you're getting home, so if, let's say you commute back and forth to work and you charge your motorcycle when you get home, you're going to be able to charge your motorcycle when you get home at night. And theoretically, when you go home, when you go in the morning to go back to work or whatever activity you're going to be doing, your motorcycle should be fully charged. Now, you also have the option of doing DC fast charging. And that's one thing that I actually found very interesting. Let's say you were to ride your motorcycle to one of the DC fast chargers. If you were at 0% when you get to the charger, you're able to do 0 to 80% in 40 minutes. If you want to go ahead and do 0 to 100%, that will take you 60 minutes. So it's not that bad when you think about it. The only thing that kind of I have to get used to is, you're spending, let's say 40 minutes to an hour charging to be able to ride anywhere between 70 to, 100 miles, 150 miles, depending on what type of riding you're doing, versus if you were, riding internal combustion engine, you don't have to worry about that. Right here, one thing that I noticed was, so you're going to feel a haptic, kind of like a pulsing coming from the motorcycle when you're coming to a stop. That lets you know, hey, the motorcycle is on. Make sure that you don't twist the throttle without meaning to do so, because you might fly off the motorcycle. So the Livewire One is going to have your engine is going to be at the bottom. You're going to have your battery sitting on top, and it's going to come at 562 pounds when when all said and done. You're going to have 5.1 inches of ground clearance. You get 17-inch tires in the front and the rear, and you get dual disc in the front, single disc in the rear. One thing that I note is this is going to be a 30-inch seat height. So while it's not a tall motorcycle, I have to say that I actually was able to flat foot the motorcycle. I'm 30 to 31 inch, inseam. So I actually found that to be very comfortable. The Livewire One TFT display that we're seeing in front of us is going to be extremely bright. And another good feature about it is that you're able to connect to it via Bluetooth. By doing so, you're able to track your motorcycle, so you're able to tell where your motorcycle is at all times. And you also have the ability to track the charging. So let's say you're doing DC fast charging or you're charging at home and you want to check the status of the charge. You could go ahead and just log in through the application, Livewire, and you're able to see, okay, my motorcycle is charging, where are we at? If let's say it was to brick, you're able to go ahead and do some troubleshooting and go ahead and get your motorcycle charging again. According to the Livewire One website, the range of 100% city riding, it's going to be 150 miles. If you're doing commuting, again, combined riding between city and freeway, you're going to get 95 miles of total range. And if you're doing 100% freeway, you get a total range of 70 miles an hour. Now, I'm trying to wrap my head around that because coming from riding, regular motorcycles, you will never think of, such a limited range, but that's something that if you're going to be venturing into an electric vehicle, in this case, a motorcycle, you're going to have to keep in mind. Safety features of the Livewire One, they're going to be cornering ABS, torque, cornering, traction control, and you also get with the Livewire One cruise control, which I have to say, if you have never ridden a motorcycle with cruise control, you do not know what you're missing out on. The top speed of the Livewire One is going to be 110 miles an hour. And I got to tell you, if riding the motorcycle in sport mode is any indication of, top speed, you will definitely get there in a hurry. Riding modes. With the Livewire One, you get 5 different riding modes. You have the ability to do sport, road, range, rain, and then you have the ability to do custom. In the custom setting, you're able to select 2 settings, basically that you want to customize to your own, and you're able to basically just tailor the motorcycle to your needs at that point in time. In sport mode, you're going to be doing 100% full regen and full power. So meaning you're going to get all the power from the get-go. You're going to be able to also recharge your battery since you're doing full regen. If you're doing road mode, you're going to get reduced regen with reduction in power. If you're doing range, you're gonna get full regen, and your power is gonna be a little bit less than it was on road mode. If you do rain, in rain you get no regen whatsoever. The reason for that being is you want to be able to give the rider basically almost 100% ability to control their motorcycle along with the ABS. So low regen will reduce power. That being said, from riding the Livewire One, the one thing that impressed me from the get-go was how easy it is basically to go ahead and get going. There's no transmission, so I don't know if you're able to get a good view here, but there's not going to be any clutch lever. There's not going to be any clutch pedal. So basically, you just go ahead and twist the throttle. There's not going to be any transmission, so it's going to be a lot easier to ride. It's almost going to be like if you were riding a DCT transmission Honda motorcycle. The riding position is going to be standard motorcycle position. I have to say, you don't feel like you're riding a sport motorcycle. Maybe if you're a shorter rider, you might be leaning a little bit over the tank, but for me, being 5'10", I felt completely comfortable riding the Livewire One. Other electric options right now in the market, they're going to come from Zero Motorcycles and Anarchica. I guess it's all going to come down to what you really want. If you want to have something, with heritage, from Harley brand, and you're a Harley enthusiast and, that's all you want to do, then, the Livewire is going to be a great option. However, from looking at the different options based on technical data provided and based on starting point, you might actually be able to get more for your money from Zero Motorcycles. The price point is going to be a little bit lower on comparable motorcycles. For example, the Zero SR is going to be a very comparable motorcycle, similar battery capacity, and you're going to get a smaller starting price point. That being said, as far as electric motorcycles go, I'm not sure this could be your one and only motorcycle. It's not going to be ideal if you're going to be doing, highway riding, just because, again, of the limited range as far as highway riding goes. If this is going to be your only vehicle, for city riding, I guess you could do that. But if you're trying to be practical and be kind of sensitive to your budget, when you're thinking of spending, $22,799 for a vehicle that you're only going to ride in the city, 150 miles, you might be able to get a lot more, bang for your buck if you're to go with a motorcycle that's going to be internal combustion engine. Heck, you can even find a used motorcycle if that's what you're going for. You can even buy a new motorcycle, like an MT-10 or something from Suzuki or something from Honda for a lot less than what you will be spending on buying the Livewire. And you're going to be able to not have to worry about range and worry about different things. Now, one thing that we have to be realistic when we're talking about electric motorcycles is Maintenance compared to your internal combustion engine is going to be basically zero. All you're going to have to do is change, your tires, change your fluids, and that's going to be basically it. For, when you compare that to your typical, motorcycle, you're going to have to be doing, oil changes, coolant changes, and other things like that. However, an electric motorcycle, they're basically maintenance free. Only thing you're gonna have to do is charge your motorcycle, change your tires, and depending in what riding mode you typically ride, you might not even have to change your brake pads for a long time just because of the region doing most of the stopping for you. That being said, I can definitely see the appeal of an electric motorcycle. It rides very smooth. You get that power instantly. There is no shifting of gears. And it's something that if you're looking to go electric and you feel like going electric is going to impact the way, the climate, impact, the world, impact the way, we live, then there's going to be a viable option. But if you're just looking to buy a motorcycle, and you're looking to go places, I believe the battery technology is still years out for a motorcycle. Cars is a different story just because, you have a lot more, capacity to store batteries. But as far as a motorcycle go, I feel like you still have a lot of catching up to do. As we know, battery technology is getting a lot better. Motorcycles are able to go a lot farther, but unlike your car, you have a very limited space as far as your charging goes. So, something to keep in mind if you're going to be looking at a motorcycle in the future that's going to be electric. So guys, if you enjoy this content, just give it a thumbs up. Only about 0.7 of you guys that watch my channel are subscribed, so it will really help if you guys subscribe to the channel. It will provide me with better opportunities down the road. So, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on my next video.